Hi, welcome to VNN, our next episode in our discussion series. And we have with us today, of course, it's Praveen, Ambassador Praveen, Praveen Verma.
Thank you for having me again, and I'm happy to come and talk to you.
It's a pleasure always,
interesting,
Praveen. Yeah, it's always a pleasure. So let me ask you first, are you afraid?
For what?
Are you afraid that there could be violence now that Premier Doug Ford has said emergency has been declared and police are being given extensive powers to stop all mischief on the highways?
No, I don't think there should be violence, and I'm sure Ford is mature enough to manage how he wants to manage.
Yes, but then our truckers will they be willing to listen to him? That's what if they hold their ground and say we are not moving? What happens then? We are not moving.
Well, violence is a last resort, you see, and as everybody, all wise people say, we should solve it by discussion. Our friend Trudeau also said that.
But that is the language of a diplomat, right?
Yes.
Okay, talks. But what if one or the other party are not willing to talk? What happens then?
That happens when what happened in India is 6 months or how many 1 year long agitation, which cannot happen here because it's more crucial and the economy is more held at stake. In India, it was just a small pocket which was held back.
There's not a border issue.
And let me remind you, there was an incident some time ago where indigenous people had blocked the railways and they were removed. But then because they were a smaller lot and they became more amenable and they were given other shops, they were removed and things were taken care of. Here it's more difficult and Ford will have to use his Sam Dam Dand Ved to get out of it. Violence should not be resorted to. I don't think so. But emergency means that RCMP or the provincial police has additional powers and they have authority to remove them. But will they be actually doing it and before resorting to discussions and all? Because again, this is again what you call, they pointed a bullet at them. They said, okay, if you don't do it, we'll. Now, who blinks first? That's the whole thing.
But the problem is the truckers do have some support. I mean, now, the front runner, Paul Poilievre, the Conservative Party, he has supported them. Maxine Bernier is supporting them, and they don't seem to be short of funds. Where is the funds coming from?
Well, they've blocked the GoFundMe, but then they've got the Christian
started something
fund
else. Go get or something like that.
Yeah, there is a genuine requirement, a general request, a general demand of the people, which is being vented through the truckers, that enough is enough. That is enough is enough. Even you and I feel that enough is enough. And now that everybody is aware of the fact that we have to live with COVID, we have to go for annual inoculations anyway. And I have known people who are triple vaccinated and still get it. Then what's the fun?
So I think that's what people think. They're losing the trust in the government. Yeah. What they think is somebody is lying to them. The government, the medical fraternity, the doctors, they're all together and they're lying in many ways. That's what the general impression, isn't it?
Not really lying, but not really
coming out with the full truth.
Full truth, yes. That's the whole thing. And I might agree with that in a sense that I know that people who have been triple vaccinated have got COVID, either mild or asymptomatic. But things should ease out, and Ford has taken a step in that direction, and he's sort of made movements to ease out the restrictions even faster than what he projected.
That's a good
sign. So these sort of things will help Ford in sort of discussing with the truck drivers. Like other provinces have already made very clear indications, they are going to remove it.
Yes.
Okay. Now, Ontario being the largest province and the trade.
Ottawa, the capital is here, of course. That's another problem.
And the trade routes with USA are all linked here.
It's about $700 million worth of products keep moving from the Ambassador Bridge alone. It's massive, isn't it?
Yeah. And ultimately, you and I will be losers because, as it is, fuel has already gone up, prices of groceries have gone up. And it's for us to suffer because the sooner it is done, the better it is. It's a very difficult, and the Americans are also getting restive.
Yeah, they are also
they are asking Trudeau to use federal powers to end this.
You see, there are big rigs, tractors, and now RVs with children. That's
With
what's
children
happening
inside, you see,
yeah,
I mean,
that's
now
the problem.
RCMP and the police are trying everything. They are putting smaller charges, putting tickets and minor violations,
That won't be enough. But
and trying to sort of discourage them.
There
But
has
then
to be
there has to be, as you say, a strong measure. Either
revoking of licenses, commercial licenses, revoking the driving licenses,
you
and
see,
I don't know what that can happen.
in a democratic and a liberal
It's not
society,
possible, you
it's
see.
not possible because anybody can go to a court and get an injunction.
Yeah, right.
So really, you cannot do
I
a
hope it's not
hammer.
an impasse and that something works out very soon.
Let's hope by the time we need next time, also maybe we are happy and we are discussing how good it has been.
We'll have to see how that works out anyway. So Praveen, just one other thing. What is happening on the Ukraine-Russian front? Who is needling whom? As a diplomat, what would you say? Is somebody,
And
is
I
Russia poking them, or the NATO poking, or the US poking from the other side? What is happening in Ukraine?
You see, both of them are poking each other.
Yeah, but
You see, I'll tell you what happens is when the Russians have got the world's attention.
yeah.
Okay. Now, having got the world attention, they want the attention on them continuing because they really want to emphasize the point that enough is enough.
They are very powerful. I think. just to reinforce that.
And you cut us down at that time. Now we are back in our strength. Our military power is fine, and we don't want any. Putin is very clear. We don't want to attack Europe. We don't want to go anywhere. But you keep your NATO away from me. And mind you, after a couple of discussions I had with you, I went and read something. During the unification of Germany, there was a commitment given by the NATO and the American Secretary of State that NATO will not expand eastwards toward.
But from 9 countries in 1947, now there are 27 countries in NATO.
Yeah.
Which is just about exponential, and Russia does. I think Russia does feel threatened in some way.
It feels threatened, and they remember their old grandeur of USSR, where they were 1-to-1 against USA.
US.
Now the US is trying to bully them. As a matter of fact, I'll also say that USA is trying very hard for the Russians to attack. The statements which are coming from all the countries in Europe means it looks like as if Russia, please attack, please attack.
But then
the Russians will not. Last time also I told you, Russians will in my all probabilities, will not attack because they lose a lot.
They lose a lot.
The sanctions will throw them back. They are already, the economy is in not that good condition in the sense.
Another thing, Biden and Boris Johnson both have said that they will not send troops to Europe, to NATO. So what happens? What will NATO do? Then NATO will be toothless if Russia invades.
So that speaks of their intention. If they want to attack, to defend, and they genuinely think that the Russians will attack,
I don't think
then
they
should
think,
have the
they
force.
think it's
a bogey from both the sides, and the only people who are very badly stuck are the Germans because of the energy thing. I know the whole Europe, as a matter of fact, because Europe is totally dependent on Russian energy supplies.
So I think it's like two people growling at each other, barking at each other.
Mohalla dadas growling at each other.
Growling at each other, nothing happens. I'll do this to you, I'll do this to you. In the end, I think maybe just all fizzle out. Hopefully.
Because you see, it's a very delicate situation because nowadays war can be started
one shot
and something goes wrong, and we've seen so many movies on that. That one very well picturized and all that things really go to the edge once it goes into the hands of the military leaders. I would not blame the military leaders. It's all
they have to react.
They have to react. They have to have the preparedness, and they have to report to the commander-in-chief that we are ready, and you give me orders and I'll fire.
Going back to India, these elections are in, and the problems have started again, like the Shaheen Bagh problem of those days of 2 years ago. Now the hijab controversy started with the small 6 students in Karnataka. Now it is spreading all across India. Chennai had a big demonstration. In Jammu there was a demonstration. and the courts are involved. Every political party is issuing statements. There are posters being put up. Hijab first, kitab next.
Yeah.
What is
Baba,
happening? What
Baba,
is this?
this is a trick question you put onto me. But then it's election time in India.
Yeah, so this thing.
And this issue was not there. It started because of the election.
Yeah.
And six students or 7 students, or whatever number of students, suddenly, one bright morning, put a hijab and came in. And in reaction, the other reactionary party, they put some saffron clothes and came in, and this started the problem. But so what has happened is that suddenly these 6 students start this, and then it is sort of, as you said, snowballed into thing. Now this raises number of issues. First of all, why the schools and colleges were closed, but then the administration had no other option, because they felt that there might be some violence and some sort of a scuffle between the two sides. But the issue still remains that people have gone to court, and one judge was very smart. He said, "I'm not deciding, it will go to the higher court." The higher court said, "I'm not deciding, it will go to the Supreme Court." And the Supreme Court said that I'll take our own time.
We'll do it at an appropriate time. So I think that's all. It's all in limbo again.
Limbo again. But the fact is that why this issue of hijab? Is hijab essential under the Islamic law? Some people
I think
say
once
yes.
I think Supreme Court has said no once.
No, but hadith and all these religious scriptures say about that. But then that talks of a society which is 1400 years old.
Yeah, but see, we have seen Saudi princesses, the UAE, the sheikhs' wives, King Abdullah in Jordan, their wives, sisters, they don't wear hijab. They are the protectors and keepers of Islamic.
They are all coming out of it. As a matter of fact, Saudi Arabia, which was known for its regime, has allowed
modernizing very quickly.
Modernizing, and then for us, we have taken some very
bold steps,
triple talaq and the Shabano case and all these things. So this hijab thing. Mind you, I've lived in Istanbul, and Kemal Ataturk removed hijab in educational institutions in 1923 in an Islamic state ruled by mullahs.
The Ottoman
Empire, and he could do it. Of course, Erdogan has come and reversed it.
Yeah.
But then for more than 100 years, 150 years.
So I think now it is difficult to bring Islamist ideology into Turkey. It will be a bit difficult because I think the people have already learned how to live in a liberal atmosphere.
Yeah. So. But then he has overturned, he has reconverted the
that church into a mosque again.
That museum into a mosque again, and Islamic laws are more prevalent, and hijab has also been, earlier it was banned, it is no longer banned. So girls can go to the universities with hijab on.
So if say a section of the Muslim community wants their own personal law to continue, including hijab.
That's where the question of universal civil code raises up.
Or if
in India?
Or if those sections of the Muslim community who wants a personal law, why can't they also have the criminal law enforced then? Say if there's a thief or something, their hands can be cut off, their heads can be cut off, beheaded. Why only some sections of the personal law are okay?
We have a strange situation where we have a uniform criminal code in India, but we have a sanctity of the Hindu personal law and the Muslim personal law.
But it's a uniform criminal code. But it's not a uniform civil code.
So
that's a dichotomy. That's a problem. See,
really, some of the liberals are really thinking about it, that this will raise the issue and give a leverage to the BJP or the present government to move faster towards a uniform civil code.
As a modern country, I think that's what is needed, isn't it? Canada, US, Britain, anywhere, it's all uniform code.
Yeah. Either you do it like in Quebec, that nobody is allowed. But there, I don't know what the ground rules are quite different. I mean, India. This between you and me is an election issue. It's primarily an election issue.
After it dies
once the election starts, it'll
like the CA just fizzled out. The farmers fizzled out. Whenever there's an election, something pops up.
But the farmers got a solution in the sense that Modi blinked and he had to sort of withdraw it. I personally feel that farmers' law was
wrong thing. That is a bad thing. He should not have withdrawn it actually.
But then it was his mistake also. He bought it the wrong way.
Okay, now of course that will continue until the elections are over.
Yeah.
Of course, until the UP elections, which is a crucial one for both all parties. What's happening there now?
First phase has gone through quite peacefully, of course.
But 60%, does that indicate a trend against Yogi or a trend for Yogi? The both says
I'm not
both
I'm not a person who dwells into this.
Because
But this area which was being polled was
Western UP.
Western UP, which was affected by the farmers' agitation. So BJP is defensive in this area. I mean, they do expect to lose many seats which they had earlier. So 60% itself seems to be a good performance.
Good thing, yeah,
and I'm told that in certain, like in Noida, I have my friends some over there, and on WhatsApp somebody said, "ये कहाँ की हवा बह रही है?" So they said, "कमल की हवा बह रही है." So
yeah, it's true. Because possible. I think the focus farmers. I think that just after that polling there, that Western UP ended, they released that the person who was arrested in the Lakhimpur.
I don't know.
That's another funny.
That's a funny situation. I don't know what that.
That'll create problems.
That,
and the same thing like the Ram Rahim. He was arrested in Haryana. Has released him on parole. Because he has a lot of the Deras under his control. So I think as election time,
they will vote en bloc.
For the ruling party rather. So there I think BJP scores a point.
A dirty point.
It's the dirty point, yeah. They should not have done it. Or the timing was wrong anyway.
A dirty point.
Okay, anyway, thanks a lot, Praveen.
Not at all, we've had enough for today. Next week,
I think it's a stomach full of news anyway. So I think time for a good coffee then.
Yeah, okay, thank you.
Thank you, Praveen.
Thank you, Bala. Thank you.
Keep watching for our next episode that will come up next week. Yeah, thank you. Bye.